This is kind of a springboard off of my last video where we kind of said positive things about Donald Trump when he gave this speech saying that he was going to get rid of censorship and he was going to ban government agencies from censoring people. I just want to add to this, because when a politician says something that looks like it's positive, it looks like it's good. The question is, are you going to believe them? I mean, they are a politician. They are professional, seasoned liars. I want to kind of even out what we showed you in yesterday's video with a couple of excerpts from The Last American Vagabond. Here's just some clips straight from Donald Trump and what he thinks about America's relationship with Israel, HE double hockey sticks.
The power, Miriam, of this lobby, this powerful, and it was for good, not for bad, of being Jewish and of Israel. And unfortunately, they're not necessarily the same, because you have Jewish people living in New York who really don't support. You look at the New York Times, and they do not support Israel, and I don't think they support Jewish people, you want to know the truth. And you wonder where it all came from. But why did it come? And they have to get together. They have to be strong. Because it's never been under attack like this. It's never been under siege like this. But 15 years ago, it was the absolute most powerful. You couldn't have an AOC +3. They wouldn't have a chance of being elected anywhere. And today you have AOC and some of these people, and they're pretty violent, and they hate Israel, and they hate Jewish people. And you're going to end up winning because you're going to have the president, okay? So you're going to end up winning, but you do have people, and it's amazing.
You, Israel, are going to end up winning because you're going to have the president. What does that mean?
The radical Marxist left and the sympathizers of the radical Islamic terror, who Democrats have imported from all over the world, have. And
you always have to play the left versus right paradigm lie because it makes it more powerful. It almost forces people into the cattle chute of picking a side when it's really the same team that you're picking, whether you pick team red or team blue. It's the same team owners behind the curtain every single time.
United around their hatred of America and their hatred for Israel. They have hatred. The toxic poison of anti-Semitism now courses through the veins of radical Democrat Party. I mean, this is a radical group of people. I never thought I'd see that either. They have gone crazy. And instead of expunging this hatred, Kamala Harris is pandering to it. He wouldn't even meet Bibi. He wouldn't talk to him, didn't want to talk to him, didn't want to mention when they finally were forced to meet. She wouldn't be there. She wouldn't be in Congress, and they were forced to meet. It was like she couldn't stay. She just wanted to get out of the room. You can't have that. She'll let it go. She'll let Israel go. We're here tonight because...
That's not true. That's not true. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have given more to Israel in their 4 years than Donald Trump did in his 4 years. As a matter of fact, after October 7th, they've given Israel $14 to $20 billion when typically America gives Israel $3.8 billion every single year. So Biden and Harris have upped the ante. In a sense, monetarily speaking, they've been a greater friend of Bibi Netanyahu and Israel than Donald Trump ever thought about being.
Because we believe that this...
So what he's saying is not true.
Vicious outbreak of militant and anti-Semitism is very militant. Must be given no quarter, no safe harbor, no place in a civilized society. We must reject it in our schools, reject it in our foreign policy, reject it in our immigration system.
And who's going to define that term? Who's going to define anti-Semitism? We got to get rid of it. That sounds like censorship, which is the exact opposite of his speech that we listened to yesterday. So which censorship will be acceptable and which censorship will be rejected by the Trump administration? And who's going to be the arbiter of that? Who's going to define these terms and actually initiate the censorship or forego or withhold the censorship?
And rejected at the ballot box this November. You know, Jewish people have to not vote by habit. You vote by habit for Democrats, and The Democrats are really against you now. If you look at what they're doing, they're absolutely against you. You have to stop. You have to be smart. People can't believe that.
Playing that Team Red versus Team Blue. Here is him on a radio talk show. Listen to what he says here.
Well, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully.
Had, past tense, and rightfully? So there's two lies here. There's no had. They currently have the power. And rightfully, that's a lie too. No foreign country should have power over the United States Congress. But Trump calls it rightfully. Interesting. So he's telling two lies, one on top of the other.
Over Congress.
Israel was the most powerful lobby in the country 15 years ago. Today, between Tlaib and AOC and all of these people, what they're doing, Israel, they don't have the backing that they once had.
You'll give it to them.
Yeah, I'm good.
So two lies. Number one, Israel rightly has power over Congress. And the second lie, Israel doesn't have power over Congress currently. Here's mega donor Miriam Adelson, the widow of Sheldon Adelson, who just gave the Trump campaign $100 million. And what exactly does Adelson expect back from that sum of money?
Their president is Donald Trump. He promised to recognize Jerusalem and to move the embassy to Jerusalem. He promised to withdraw from Iran nuclear deal and promised peace. He promised to bring peace between Israel and Arab nations. Yes. Promised peace. And all in Golan Heights, that was a big list. He promised Golan Heights, and he recognized it. And all of this he did in his first term, while battling COVID pandemic, race riots, and the liberal media.
You know what's interesting about donors giving large sums to politicians, especially politicians who become presidents, is that those donors do expect something. I was listening to an interview between Patrick Bet-David and Dan Bilzerian, and Dan Bilzerian said one time he gave $100,000 to a politician, and that politician and his aides kept calling him, asking him, hey, what do you want from this politician? Kept calling him incessantly. And he said, if that's the kind of treatment I was getting and that's the kind of recognition I was getting for $100,000, then what kind of recognition does $100 million buy you?
And so like this whole thing of they're our greatest allies, just complete fucking bullshit. And, we send them $100 billion, then they send AIPAC $100 million, and then they distribute it to our politicians, and every politician has a little AIPAC handler walking around and telling them what to fucking say and how to vote. And it's just like, look, I'll donate like $100,000 to politicians, and they call me up like, hey, you need anything? Like every week. I don't need shit. I sit on my ass. I don't do anything. I don't care. I don't fucking break any laws. I don't need any favors. Like I just gave it to them because I didn't want to see any more fucking retard, Democrats in there. So, but that's 100,000. Like what does 100 million buy you? How many fucking phone calls do those guys get?
I want to show you what Nick Fuentes said about Donald Trump.
Trump is the battering ram. Trump is the face. Trump is the brand. People vote for Trump, and once Trump gets across the finish line, the gates blow open, and all of the donors get to send their armies inside the Capitol, inside the walls. It's by definition a Trojan horse.
This is true. And this is what happens with every politician. They get backed by these mega corporate donors and they expect something when that puppet walks into the White House. Now they're just marionettes hanging off the string of those donors. So he's right about this. This doesn't exempt Trump. Trump is included in this Trojan horse type of scenario, this political scenario.
Trump is like a human Trojan horse. Trump stands outside the city walls and people go, cool photograph. He's awesome. He tells it like it is. They lower the gate over the moat. They let them pass through. And then once Trump is inside the city walls, it opens up and all of Elon and Vance and Thiel and Lutnick and Kushner, all their men pour out. Now, if it was Project 2025, that would be a good thing.
That's just crazy for him to say that. Project 2025 is a 944-page document. The people on the left are freaking out about everything's wrong with Project 2025. Well, no, not everything. If you read Project 2025, they actually have some good things to say. For example, instituting sound money and restraining the Federal Reserve. I would say that's pretty good. But Nick Fuentes is on the other side of it going, Project 2025, like in total, it would be great to implement all that. Not everything in that 944-page document is good. So you can't go for it all and you can't reject it all because there are some good things. Not everything is good. So it's interesting how people just speak in absolutes about this particular document.
If Trump was a Trojan horse for our guys, that would be good because our guys are Christian and America first. But if it's a Trojan horse for Israelis and establishment hacks, and
you don't want a Trojan horse for any guy. You want a Trojan horse. You want somebody who's going to walk into the White House and do the right thing. He's not going to be beholden to this group or that group. So basically, Nick Fuentes has a problem with Donald Trump because he might be a Trojan horse for the other guys when he wants Donald Trump to be a Trojan horse for his guys. His guys also want totalitarianism, just like the Peter Thiel, J.D. Vance group wants totalitarianism under this technocracy. It's crazy that people will just go 100% for everything somebody says without stepping back, employing a little bit of critical thinking and coming to a conclusion that is conducive to truth and justice and goodwill and the golden rule.
Israel firsters, well, that's a very bad thing. That's a very bad thing, actually.
That's true.
Trump is...
That's true. It is a very bad thing. So I wanted to even out that last video that I did because while a politician may promise some really, really good sounding things, like we'll go over it in the next video, Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk want to eliminate a lot of agencies and get rid of a lot of the bureaucratic BS that happens in Washington, D.C. When politicians say that stuff, you just can't trust them. History shows that if you trust politicians, you will be disappointed 100% of the time. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought, please, in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, understand what your rights are and hold fast to those rights because there's a lot of people out there who want to take those rights away. I will see you in the next video.